Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Let me say it again. Welcome back to the last honest place in America. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. Check this check out this image right here, man. This happened from Detroit. This was all caught on cell phone video, as I understand it. There was a thing that was happening in Detroit. Police responded. It ended up with that brother right there laying square on his back. So that's kind of like a before, not a kind of like, but that's a before and after images. So the larger image is before how it started, and then the image on the right, that little small little rectangle, that's how it ended. And these are police officers. I'm not sure if you've seen the video. I've got it for you, and we'll talk about this morning. I want to know, is it justified? Because the initial video came out, and then another video came out that showed things that happened prior to their confrontation. And it's got some people thinking like, well, hey, get what you deserve. I want to get your thoughts on this morning. 513-873-7134. We are live, local, and vocal. It's the Nate Ivey Show. Good morning to you, my friends. You can find me on Instagram at Nathan Ivey TV. You can find me on, I'm going to change my Twitter to, my Twitter's right now is Nathan from Cincy. But if you type in Nathan Ivey EY Cincinnati, boom, it'll come straight up to me. You can find me there. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. The show brought to you by the friends who like the Nathan Ivey Show Facebook page this morning, and my Patreon page, Patreon/Nathan Ivey EY, and you can support this creative. Creativity is life. Good morning. I create, therefore I live. Good morning. Good morning. Also, we're scheduled to get a phone call from a member of SORTA. This is a SORTA board member. This was actually set up by one of the choppers. Shout out, salute, appreciate it. A lot of good people help me do this on a regular basis. I appreciate you. But anyway, a SORTA board member, so we can get another side of the story as relates to what everybody's been talking to, or a lot of people have been talking about it. And that is the issue with the changing in busing. Within the last 24 hours, I saw a news clip. I saw this on Instagram, on Alicia Reese's Instagram, in which she let her voice and her opinion be heard about this very issue. She made a lot of really good points. Really good points. So at least you got the Hamilton County commissioners that are paying attention to what happened to this situation. You know, it's funny. I was talking with somebody who's not even in Cincinnati, but has ties to Cincinnati recently, and they were talking about this issue. And they were telling me some stuff about, the man involved that was not too flattering. It's not too flattering. I'll leave it just like that. But good morning to you. 513-873-7134. That's my number. I'm trying to burn it into the back walls of your memory. And you can keep me there for all time. And just whenever you want to give us a call here, 513-873-7134. That'll be the number that you can actually use. Again, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful Thursday. Very beautiful Thursday. Great to be alive. And as always, my pleasure to be with you. Let me make sure I'm looking presentable. And then take a second to like and share the show on Facebook, man, because we were off for a little bit. And some people, I think, may be struggling to find us, but they will. Don't worry, they will. Good morning to you. Like, I ain't worried, Nate. I understand. Good morning to you. Hope you had a pleasant rising this morning as you make your transition to work. Appreciate it. You know, it's so funny because recently I was watching, you got this reality show, and it's all about your dream job, right? And do you have a dream job? Let me ask you a quick question. Do you have a dream job? And if you do have a dream job, what would be your dream job? What would be your dream job? If you have a dream job, what would it be? And this came to me within the last 24 hours because, like I said, I was checking out this reality show that purports to give people their dream job. And I started thinking about my own circumstances, like dream job. I never really think about a dream job. Hold on one second. No, I had to change it. No, it came out wrong. Sorry about that. Wifey came in here, interrupted me. Good morning to you. So coming up at about, let me see, double check, 9 a.m., we're scheduled to get a call from a member of SORTA who, as I understand, has got some information that perhaps we haven't heard before and can give us some clarity about this scenario. A lot of people are really concerned about what this means for their children. A lot of people are concerned about that, including in our household. You know, Medium Buddha, she got a job now and she does a lot of after school activities. And so we're concerned about what that means for her. And, you know, what's going to be the recourse? Is there anything that can be done at this point? And so I know that SORT is supposed to have a big community meeting, which makes no sense whatsoever. Why would you have a public meeting after a decision has already been made? Doesn't make any sense. It's so Cincinnati, some might say. It's so Cincinnati. Why would you make a decision like this 2 to 3 weeks before school starts? And then you want to have a public meeting after the decision is final? because that's what they've been telling us. SORTA's been saying that's it. So we'll figure it out. Who's to blame here? Is it SORTA? Is it CPS? Is this sort of a bad situation? Yes, it is. Is this sort of ridiculous? It's absolutely ridiculous. Not sort of ridiculous. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. But we shall navigate together, my friends. We shall navigate this together. She'll get this together. It's been over the last 24 hours, big news in a lot of places is the fact that Rihanna has now become a billionaire. We tend to celebrate these type of things, especially when it's somebody black. And I think we can all agree that Rihanna is black. She ain't from America. I don't know her roots and background. And that other than the fact that she was born in the land of yumminess, because she is yummy. But all I'm saying is we got another black billionaire. What does this mean exactly? They put this information out there, and it's like, how do you process this? I'm happy for her. Black Wall Street. I think it was her Fenty brand, which is that a fashion brand? I believe it is. I've never purchased it. And she does the makeup thing and all that kind of stuff. Who knew that makeup was so damn big? But again, in a world where we have never been more caught up with ourselves than we are now, and everybody has a stage. Everyone has a stage. I shouldn't be surprised that makeup is so big. You got more and more men wearing makeup these days. So yeah, it's big. There's some men out there like, oh, dude, they just dropped that new Fenty makeup line. Hey, do you? Shit, I need to give me a makeup line if it's that damn profitable. But I believe that's what kicked her over. She's like at 1.7 bill or something like that. What does that mean exactly? Does it mean anything good for her? Does it mean anything for the community? I don't know. I'm not making any decisions. I'm not taking a side either way. I just want to know what you think. Nina Turner says the real establishment lost the Ohio Democratic primary race. Yeah, she is not happy. Says that she outraised, outorganized, and outspent Shontel Brown, but still came up short. You know, yesterday we talked about the fact that she said it was evil money. Is that an oxymoron? And if it's not an oxymoron, is it redundant? Is it redundant? Maybe that's a better question. Evil money. Some people say that money or the lust of money is the root of all evil. So, what is evil money? Still trying to figure that out. That could be a dope ass hip hop group these days. I don't know. Don't ask Dipset to be in it. That's just, I don't know. You tell me. 513-873-7134. Leo's in the house. Leo's? Oh, yeah, it is July. It is July. Well, it's August now. It just got out of there. So I'm not sure when that ends for Leo's. Hopefully soon, because the house of Virgo is coming soon. I see the house of Virgo on the horizon. A man that was dressed up like George Washington was tracked down by the FBI. He dressed up like George Washington and then was a part of the insurrectionists on January 6th. So not only did this fool participate in what I think that sane and rational people can only look at as treason. This mofo was dressed up like George freaking Washington, who, by the way, was a slave owner. I don't know why our culture keep passing him off like he was some kind of good guy. He was a freaking slave owner, ran down on his slave when she left. But anyway, I say no slave owner should be on Mount Rushmore. Is that too much? I don't think that's too much to ask for. I don't give a damn if he was the first president or not. When you know better, you do better. This mofo was dressed up like George Washington and went to the January 6th insurrection. And oh, by the way, I found out he's got a wife. That's a bad wife right there. I'm going to go ahead and say it. If I told my wife, like, sweetie, babe, I'm about to dress up like George Washington and go to the Capitol so I can participate in a rally supporting Donald Trump's crazy ass election lies. If my wife said anything other than, hey, sweetheart, I don't think you should do, that's a bad idea, then that would be a bad wife. A good wife don't let her man do no dumb shit like that. Yo, check it. The FBI tracked this man down using facial recognition software and also his own cell phone. I keep telling you, people out here running around talking about the mark of the beast is the vaccine. Oh, they're gonna put some kind of chip in me. They'll be able to find where I am. They know where you are anyway because you have a phone on you. God damn it, I can damn near find you. I don't want to. Oh, I'm not going to get the vaccine because they're going to put a location device or some other mechanism of tracking you. All they got to do is track your phone. If you're on Facebook, Facebook knows everything about you. They know everything about you, yo. Everything. They don't just know a little stuff. They know everything about you. They know whose DMs you been in. They know what you like to eat. They know when you sleep. They know when you wake up. They know what your favorite movie is. They know what your favorite color is. Every post that you've ever posted, everything you've ever liked has been put through computer programs that they use to try to predict who you are, what you like to eat, when you like to eat it, where you like to eat it. They know your location, and mofos run around here talking about the vaccine. If you don't stop, I had a little brother that was caught with that a few years ago, man. So I ain't gonna get this, man. I ain't gonna do them. I'm gonna stay off the grid. Uh-huh. Thank you, wifey. Yeah, I want a little bit of that, honey. Appreciate you, honey. Sorry about that. Shit is hot too. Damn it. I'm not gonna be able to drink this. Yo, sweetheart, can I get a little water bottle, please? It's too damn hot. I need just a water bottle. Just regular water. Thank you. If you can, please. Gotta say it nicely. Good morning to you. You gotta say it nicely, right? Oh, thank you so much. What you trying to say? I just said I want to say it nicely. That's all. Appreciate you. Don't have them people thinking like you don't say it perfect, right? I don't. I don't know what she's talking about. Anyway, good morning to you. Yeah. Black Lives Matter. Let me see here. I hate when this little shit gets on me. Good morning to you. Hope you're looking good this morning. Hope you're well wherever you are. Good morning to you. Where are we? Leo's in the house. No, this is the house of Virgo. Yeah, for a second. Tomorrow was I whispering? For a second. she funny, man. She funny. But look, what I was saying is good wife, bad wife. A bad wife, her husband comes to her and says, baby, I think I want to go to this January 6th movement, this demonstration pro-Trump. People are talking about storming the Capitol building, right? Right? I think I want to go, and I think I want to go dressed up like George Washington. A bad wife will say, well, babe, are you going to wear, I think that's a good idea. That's a bad wife. A good wife says, I don't think you should do that. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a man who was dressed up like George Washington has been arrested. They tracked his ass down using his own cell phone and facial recognition software because people out here worried about the wrong damn things. We live in a surveillance society. They know where your ass is all the time. They know everything about you. Like I said, Facebook has these big old fancy computers, and every time you press a button, the time you press the button, how much time you spend on it, everything you've ever posted, whether it's a DM or public in any group on Facebook, they run it through computers to try to predict your next movement. And for what I understand, they're pretty damn good at it. That's the reason why you can be off of Facebook. And let's say you're doing some shopping or something like that, or you're on some kind of websites. You get back on Facebook, what do you start to see? You start to see ads for those very same things that you was just looking at off of Facebook. They know what you're doing. They know who you are. They know what you like. They know what you really like. Not just what you tell people you like. They know what you really like. They know it all. They know it all. And so they used that to track this man down. And now he's facing serious consequences. Let me pull his image up, man. You're going to love this. This is hilarious. His name is Isaac Yoder, or Yoder, Yoder. And the FBI arrested him, and he was dressed up like fucking George Washington. I mean, who the hell does this? Like, what kind of woman? Let me show you this image right here. Who has this kind of fucking time? This is the most hilarious thing I've seen in days and days and days, because the world generally is hilarious every day. Gives us reason to laugh every single day. Let me put this image up for you. This fool deserves to be under the jail. The hell? Now, if you're doing some like reenactment type shit, and it's just you and your buddies, you like to do reenactments and hunt in the woods and use muskets and all that kind of shit. I mean, I think it's some strange shit, subtly racist. But if that's how you like to get down, that's one thing. But you like going out in public with this on? Check this out. Look at this fool. Look at this fool right here. Look at this little idiot. Gosh, little fool. I know the man in the police mask is thinking, what a damn fool. Running around here dressed up like he's an extra on some new movie or something. This is what you're doing in your spare time? And there's a woman out there that claims this fool. I blame his wife, because she is not doing her job. She is not doing her job. That is not what a wife does. A wife doesn't let her man leave the house with some dumb shit like that. What a wife does is say, baby, that's some dumb shit. That's what a wife does. They got the whole indictment, complaint against them and everything from the FBI. So far, the FBI has made more than 550 arrests in connection to the January 6th attack. And I love every one of God bless the FBI. Lock these fools the F up. Lock they asses up for a long, long time. For a long, long time. According to the, check this out. According to the FBI, he's got a website called the Yoder Lock and Key. That's his website. You go to his website, they got a picture of him. So what the FBI is doing, they're going through all of the different cameras, and they're just trying to run facial recognition software, and then they scan that against existing databases. Don't you love technology? Lock these racist ass, you know what's up. Every last one of them. That's exactly what they did. They need to lock his ass up dressed in this right here and see how long he lasts. Yeah, eat him his ass up. Yum, yum. Bring him on in here. Mr. 1776. Oh, what's up, Mr. 1776? Where can you even? He even got the sword. He even got the sword. Look at that on his right shoulder, right hip right there. Really his left hip, but look at that right there. What, ladies? Could you be proud of that? What the hell? I love it. Props to the FBI, man. It's worth every damn dollar. Lock they asses the you know what up. His wife is complicit. I'm looking at an image of the both of them, right? Isaac and Kelly Yoder. Kelly should have told Isaac, babe, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. And it's like, you got to know you're going to stick out. Like, how many people were really there dressed up like 1776? You got to know they're going to catch your ass. FBI is going frame by frame, trying to run facial recognition software on anybody they can that was a part of the insurrection. Most of these people was dressed up like, everyday, white supremacists, whatever the hell that means. And then you got one dude over here dressed up like George Washington. Get him off the streets. I don't know how much time he's facing, but I hope he gets a lot of time. He needs about 10 years to knock him out of his BS. About 10 years to do him real good. And what the hell does 1776 have to do with January 6th anyway? What the hell does George Washington have to do with Donald Trump telling a lot of lies to a lot of mush brains? They got all in their feelings because black folks is winning. Too many black people are winning. We're losing our country. So now you want to go George Washington on us? I just don't understand the logic. Clearly some mental health issues right there. Clearly. I don't understand it. Maybe you do. 513-873. If you do, help me out. 513-873-7134. Hear ye. Come arrest these damn fools. I know that's right. But yo, the FBI ain't they is not joking, man. They running facial recognition software, man. Where can you buy that at? Is that is that part of the Adobe package or something like that? I mean, how do you get facial recognition software at home? Dang, I want some. I don't know what I would do with it, but it just seemed like a dope thing to have. I'm gonna stay off the grid, and you on Facebook. Some tells me you're not off the grid. I ain't gonna vote. Government ain't gonna know my every move, but you on Facebook though. Okay. Yeah, let's make believe. Oh my God. Janice writes, there are some ignorant racist people. There are. Janice writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Let me back up here and say good morning to the Choppers. Brenda writes, happy Thursday. Good morning to you, Brenda. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Ray writes, good risings all. Miss D writes, greetings. It's my folks on the audio side, the chopper side over there. I appreciate you. OMG, his wife crazy as well. Yup, his wife crazy as well. There's an image in this particular article, which I will share with you. I'm going to put a link inside of the chat. Copy and paste. So easy. Thank you. Despite the complexities of computer ownership and modern day technology, copy and paste will forever be simple. And I love it. OMG, yeah, his wife is nuts. What kind of woman does that? I blame her. Because she's supposed to help keep her husband in line. You know your husband bat-ish crazy. You know that. Why don't you keep him in line? Keep his ass in line because he is a threat to the community. He's a threat. Heaven's Angel writes, good morning, all. Good morning to you. Can we get a little music here? Can we get a little something? What can we put out here? Okay, how about this? That works. Ronald Lackey writes, good morning, Chop Shop. Make this a prosperous Thursday. Oh, I plan to. Andrea writes, good morning, Nate and friends. Good morning to you. Daryl's in the house. He writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Eloise writes, good morning. Kelly writes, good morning. Pat writes, good morning. Glenn writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hashtag flows ready eat for everybody. Jerome writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Cincy Tigress writes, top of the morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Top of the morning. Come on in. Please share this. Please share this show today on Facebook and around the world. Good morning to you. As we just get started. So coming up in about an hour, and think about this, like what questions would you have for a member of SORTA? The SORTA board, SORTA. All right. And this person is a member of the SORTA board. Actually, we can have a well-rounded conversation with the guests. And looking forward to the conversation this morning. I'm not going to put it out there. I'm just going to say SORTA board member. And then we'll wait and see the conversation at 9 a.m. But to talk about, what's going on, this dynamic, and can anything be turned around? Like, is it too late? Because what we got from recent articles in Cincinnati.com is that it was too late. SORTA was saying there was nothing can do about it. I know Alicia Reese was letting her voice be heard about it in a recent commissioner session. She talked about it for a little bit of time and it voiced her displeasure. I'm glad that people are doing that. I know the school board is pushing back. CPS has decided that they're going to go fully masked mask mandates for the upcoming school year. So you got to be fully masked, which is a departure from what other school districts. I think in Mason City schools, I could be wrong about that. They're doing something different out there. And see, this goes back to what I was saying about these school board members before. Like, when we had this conversation early in the year, you had school board members talking about, well, what's such and such doing in terms of what are other school districts in the area doing? And what did I say? I'm like, who gives a damn? We in Cincinnati. All I care about is what we do. Okay. You don't have to follow somebody else's lead. And so now it seems like, school board members are waking up. I'm glad to hear that. They waking up a little bit and realizing that this is a real issue. I still wish they still had put in place and kept in place monitoring the temperatures of students as they come in the door. I don't understand why they're not doing that. It is what it is at this point, but take this shit seriously. This Delta variant is serious. It is real serious. They're saying it's basically the unvaccinated people, which is like 29% of the population. Those are the people that are dealing with the most serious consequences of the Delta variant. And I want to say this again so people know this. And if I'm wrong about this, please call me up and set me straight, because I don't want to be too wrong. I don't mind being a little bit wrong, but I don't want to be 100% wrong. And what I'm saying is that the vaccine is not going to prevent you from getting COVID. They never said that. Basically, the White House, the CDC has done terrible with the messaging. Trump was a complete disaster because he was a lying ass mofo. And Biden has come in and they're still struggling with the messaging. So it goes like this. If you get the vaccine, you can still get and transmit COVID. The purposes of getting the vaccine is so that you don't get super sick with it. That's the purposes with it. You can still get it. There's a conversation right now as to whether you can get infected with it at the same rate as somebody who's not vaccinated. But what I've read so far seems to all of the smart people all agree with this, is that you put yourself in a position where the impact of COVID will be potentially much, 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 much less than if you're not vaccinated. Okay, that's what the whole deal is. So do what you're gonna do. Do what you are going to do. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you, Kush. Brenda writes, good morning from Fairfield. Well, good morning to Fairfield. Brandy writes, good morning. Maurice writes, glorious resurrection to all, giving thanks to the Most High Yah today. Absolutely, man. You already know it. Jerica writes, hola, beautiful black people, and the others too. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag team and I. Glenn writes, what kind of meeting, Nate? Quick little meeting. Naisha's in the house. Hey, good to see you, Naisha. She writes, I missed it. What's going on with CPS? A lot going on with CPS, but we got a a SORTA board member scheduled to call us in about 50 minutes to give us some insights from the SORTA position. So we shall see. We shall see. The new thing with CPS is that yesterday they decided they were going to mass mandate throughout the calendar year. I'm glad to see they're not playing games. Keep it serious. We should be acting as if COVID is still has the highest infection rate that it ever had. But people get fatigued. Jenny writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Tabitha writes, good morning. Gazito writes, what country is this? The United States? Naisha writes, skincare, makeup, and fashion. Oh, she do all of it, huh? Mm-hmm. Well, props to Rihanna. Props to Rihanna. Maurice writes, our women have spent billions of dollars on hair care products and makeup. Dale writes, she's more famous for her business than music. Really? Darlene writes, greetings, good people of Cincy. Leo's in the house. I think I read that already. Mm-hmm. Tracy writes, if Nina did all of that and still lost, she needs to do some self-evaluating. Tracy coming in with that always super realness. You're right. Nina Turner does need to do some self-evaluating. She's right. You're right about that. And she probably will. Jason Johnson has a piece titled, Why Nina Turner, the Real Establishment, Lost Ohio Democratic Primary Race. Let me see. Let me see what he has to say. The establishment is no longer old white men in a smoke-filled room playing kingmaker. Not in an era of social media, Wild Wild West campaign fundraising, and national organizers who can descend on a district like political flash mobs after one tweet. Did Chantel Brown have institutional help? Of course. She was a local party chair and was mentored by the outgoing incumbent. However, Nina Turner was a former surrogate, blah, 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 blah. Trying to get to his point here. Nina Turner had burnt a lot of bridges in local Cleveland politics years ago, and voters have long memories. This is not to say that Chantel Brown didn't have her detractors. Her management of the Cuyahoga County Democrats was seen as biased, and one local organizer told me that Chantel's campaign trafficked in colorism and classism. Really? I heard a number of people complain that Brown's only policy position was supporting Joe Biden, and they wanted more. However, in the minds of the majority of non-aligned voters, Turner, not Brown, was the big name establishment politician. Blah, 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 blah. Nina Turner raised $4.5 million in campaign funds to Brown's $2 million. And while outside groups spent slightly more on pro-Brown advertising, Turner had been on the air much longer, so the air war was basically a wash. The truth is, had Turner kept the race about fighting crime in Ohio City and PPP loans for failing businesses in Tower City, Jim Clyburn would have never driven into Cleveland into a caravan. So basically, it appears from what I'm reading here that Jason Johnson is saying that, just as Tracy said, that she's got some self-evaluation to do, which I'm not surprised to hear it. Pat writes, I'm a Leo 8-8. Okay, well, listen, my little brother's a Leo. I love Leos. Leos are the life of the party, big personalities. I love them, okay? But I'm a Virgo. I's a Virgo. Glenn writes, come on, Nate. Dude has an apple tree and could not tell a lie. Is that right? Darlene writes, Duke Reagan won the silver in boxing. He's from Cincinnati. Is that right? Duke Reagan? Hold on, let me see. Is that right? You know, we always rep up the Cincinnatians, really? Haven't watched any of the Olympics whatsoever. Not even a little bit of it. Oh, brought home a silver in the men's featherweight. That's dope. Shout out to Duke Reagan and his team. That's dope. Silver medal. Yeah, you can do worse than that. I ain't mad at that. Cincy Tigers writes, grapes. You hilarious. You hilarious. You remember that? You are hilarious. Maurice writes, Obama is the beast. The vaccine is not what people think. Obama's the beast. Okay. Glenn writes, Nate almost caught an Earl Price from the wifey, McGuffied. Now, number one, RIP to Earl Price, Glenn. You know that brother has passed away. And I have nothing but condolences to his family and friends. You know what I'm saying? You out of line. Rothstein here, alt middle stirring the goddamn drink per usual. Billy writes, Nate, the only thing you can ask Dipset is how it feels to get bodied by the Locks. Again, I admit I have not watched it, but that's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing that, you know, the Locks, the Dipset didn't show up, basically. And I don't know how to read that. I really don't. Deshona writes, good morning, Nathan, and all checking in from Fairfield. Have a good day. I listened to your show while delivering mail. Well, thank you so much, Deshona. I'm glad we give you something to listen to in the morning. Yeah, you can get that work in. Like, Deshona, one question. I mean, I know you can't text too much, but one real good question, though, is how many miles a day do you think you walk? That must be hella good exercise for you. Sister Iris writes, good morning, great people. Good to see you, Sister Iris. OJ Wellburn writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers, TWE. Now, OJ's going to come on the show real soon. He's got a brand new book out teaching people how to make money on real estate. I'll say it again. He's got a brand new book out teaching people how to raise money in real estate, how to make money in real estate, not raise money, how to make money in real estate, which I think you'll find to be super dope, super helpful. Looking forward to that conversation. Look for that real soon. Cleopatra writes, I wrote a thesis about privacy matters. Okay. Tifted writes, good morning. Where did he even get that outfit? I don't know. I don't know where you buy no shit like this. I'm a black man. Man, I would have no idea. I would go down to like a costume shop, maybe. But let me quit tripping. A costume shop. He's got the whole setup, man. I guess that makes him feel good. They say if you should wear fashion that makes you feel good. I mean, that's what he likes. I mean, okay. But I mean, my thing is if I'm gonna be a part of like a mass insurrection, I don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. Call me discreet. But I don't want to stick out like a sore thumb in a situation like that. I kind of want to blend in, like, I don't know, insurrection, modern day. That speaks to me like mask, glasses, camouflage. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking this outfit. I'm actually thinking more along the lines of that Capitol police officer right there, fully masks, the whole 9 yards. I don't think I really want people to know my identity. That's just me. Call me stupid. What's up, Nathan Choppers? Good morning to the Vax Black automatons in the chop shop. What's in your jab? Vax the Blacks automatons. You just not gonna stop, are you? You don't have to, brother. You don't have to. Okay, man. I get it loud and clear, Bunky. I hope everything stays healthy on your part. That's what I hope. Dale writes, there is no difference between people wearing costumes to a bingo game. So not far-fetched to me. I disagree with that. It is when you're going to a bingo game, you're going to have fun. You're going to celebrate. Like basically, if you're about to if you're about to go commit a B&E, would you dress up in a costume that people might remember? No. So that's why I say it don't make sense. You about to go be a part of a mass insurrection. And so let's say he said to himself, because nobody can see the future. Let's say Mr. 1776 here had only planned to demonstrate peacefully outside. He had no intention to actually break into the Capitol building, right, and commit crimes. Okay. Well, that means that you're at the Capitol building January 6th. You a mission accomplished. You saw Trump, you took some pictures, you dressed up like George Washington, and then all of a sudden all hell breaks loose and people start breaking into the Capitol building. You shouldn't be one of them. That's all I'm saying. You are dressed up like George Washington. You're going to stick out. You might want to sit this insurrection out, buddy. That's all I'm saying. So that's not the same as wearing a bingo costume, Daryl. It's not the same. You tried it, though. It's the same as wearing a bingo costume or a costume to a bingo game. What the hell? Janice writes, his wife is probably dressed up like Martha Washington, shaking my head. You know what? I think she was actually in the image I saw. I think she was. So it's a whole family affair. Couples get into different stuff. That's what they into. All of our friends, we like to, is that cosplay? That's not cosplay. That's just like something they like to do. Okay, that's what you into. Cool. Do you. Tabitha writes, that was a great idea. It caught his ass. Hold on one second. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Oh, we got a call coming in. That was a great idea. It caught his ass. Lime Denzel in a gangster's movie with a fur coat. LOL. That's hilarious. I think I know what you're trying to say, Tabitha. That's funny. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Every now and then. So I had to call you so I could explain what I meant.
Okay, cool. What's up, Daryl? Good morning.
Okay, I'm not talking about people just wearing jerseys and painting their face. I'm talking about the rabid fans because I had season tickets and I know how they act. They get some drink in them, they get crazy. On all teams, not just Bengals, but all teams, probably all sports. And they ready to come to fisticuffs when you see the opposing team. I mean, it's a game. as you say, there's, outside of just rooting for them, what value do you have other than wearing that city across your name? And so I liken that because the mentality of Trump supporters that participated in insurrection, they operate within a bubble, similar to fans that think their team is the greatest even before the season starts, and they have disillusions about how their team will perform, and it's the communication is all in a bubble and facts can't get in, and that's where they're misled.
I get it.
And so that's where I'm coming from.
I get it.
I'm
Now
not
that you explained it,
saying
I understand your point.
okay, and since I don't get to call in, I'm gonna touch on what's that wolf's name? What's his name? Oh,
You talking about
that
Fame
one dude
Rothstein?
that's a full, yeah, the dude that howls. Anytime bro want to step to me, I'm ready. And for drop, stop gaslighting. Not a good look, bro. And then, you punked out when all that stuff went down last week during the trial and the officers were testifying. None of them, what is that, the alt middle? They didn't call. Drop didn't call. But then he wants to call and always talk about Kamala, always disrespecting black women. Man, he need to take his ass on while he retired and stick a pacifier in his mouth while he walking. I'm out, Nate. Take care.
Appreciate the call. Daryl ain't joking, man. I can hear in his voice. He mean business. He said, drop while you walk and stick a pacifier in your mouth. And listen, this is all rhetorical, man. We keep this is all conversation. We are not enemies here. There's a real enemy. It ain't none of us. We all on the same side over here. But they're like, listen, while I'm on, let me go ahead and take a few shots. Shots fired. Bang, bang. He said, damn. Oh man, Christian writes, can you imagine what's going through the minds of the insurrections that haven't been caught yet? Yeah, they scared little rabbits right now. Trey writes, good morning. Tabitha writes, I agree. Monitor and thermometer for everyone, right? Christian writes, we monitor temperatures of our students. It may be up to the school administrators. Well, I hope all the school administrators decide to keep doing it anyway. Make it happen. Brian writes, morning. Anthony writes, morning, chop shop. Janice writes, what brought SORTA to this conclusion? What are the benefits compared to the previous plans? That's a question for the SORTA board member. That is a good question. What brought SORTA to this conclusion, and what are the benefits? Like I said, Alicia Reese and others are making some really good points in the sense that they're like, listen, we just passed a levy and we were told we were getting expanded services. How is this expanded services and you're taking away services, for CPS students? That's a fair question, and it could be a good answer to it, but we'll find out. TNT writes, good morning. Christian writes, 96% protection from COVID. That's what, the vaccine? Is that high? Sister V writes, Hotep, everyone. Hey, good to see you, Sister V. Cash writes, hey, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Get to the choppers. Ann writes, wow, first time listening. You are making so much sense. Thank you. Hey, good morning to you, Ann. Brian writes, 100% vaccinated. Wife and I still wear our masks. It's just, now I will say I was in a grocery store yesterday. I was over at Whole Foods, and I saw more people wearing masks. And everybody's different. I know that some people it becomes like a really uncomfortable type of thing. I get it. I'm sympathetic to it, but come on, man. As much as possible, if that's the least you can do that. Do that. See, Sister Tracy writes, I don't know how to be any other way. Hashtag not watering down my message. Okay, I don't need you to do anything different. The same kingmaker who chose Biden also chose Chantel Brown. Is that right? I think you're right about that. Fame writes, cut that Zodiac-ish. Oh, man. When I'm out and about, and again, this just happens with every show, people ask me about They bring up a lot of people, but they asked me about Drop and they asked me about the guy that howls. That's what they say. What's that guy that be howling? So it is it's what it is. Brian just posted a link to D.O. Hughley, who's talking about the vaccine. F D.O. Hughley. I don't like D.O. Hughley. I met him one time. He was an asshole. I wanted to smack him across his little face. The only reason why I didn't smack D.O. Hughley across his face is because at the time we were working for the same radio station, and I felt like he was a bigger name. So if something came down, they'd probably take his word over mine. But I was gonna slap the piss out of D.O. Hughley. You think I'm joking? I was gonna slap the shit out of him. Let me see. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, Guy.
Yeah,
I'm just sitting here minding my own black ass business. And some guy calls in talking about, yeah, what's that wolf acting like he don't know my name. That was the sucker shit of the call. You don't know my name, but you won't smoke with me. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the sucker stuff of the call. But for you to act like you don't know my name is sucker stuff because it's still on your fingertips in the chat. So since you can't have something else of mine on your fingertips, you put my name on your fingertips. Do me a favor. The next time, since you don't call a lot, before the next time you call, go to hell. I'm not stepping to you because I don't want to get charged with a hate crime. You fucking queer. You know what I'm saying? You down there in Atlanta. Ain't there a loose dingling for you to play with somewhere? Calling in talk shows, taking shots at people? Like I'm minding my business. I'm chilling. But listen. And you're a sucker because you called in. The man just revealed to us that the federal government has admitted they are using facial recognition technology. What the hell? That's why we have to use these masks continually. Because they want to see what the hell you look like in a mask. This is all part of the setup. The COVID, the masking up, masks in public. The government wants to see what you look like in a mask so they can recognize your ass too. But yeah, you want to take shots at me. Pay attention to what's going on the show and get off my. It's been real, Nate. I had fun. We'll chat again soon, B. Oh!
Yeah, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. You out the door? See you later. You work from home? That was fine. What? Okay. Oh my gosh. Man, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, that happened. I tell you what, now's a good time to hear a word from today's sponsor. Today's show brought to you by my friends over at renewcommunitychurch.org. And then we'll be right back to your chat.
The words for today are better mental health. It takes 60 seconds for the universe through the invisible law of attraction to be fully activated in your life. God's invisible law of attraction is available to you today because you are just 60 seconds away from better mental health. Take the next 60 seconds and improve your mental health by telling a mental health story for 60 seconds 3 times a day for 21 days. Why 21 days? Because that's how long it will take to change your life. Now say this mental health story out loud 3 times a day. It is my divine and human right to embrace inner peace, calmness, and happiness today. I confess that my mind is calm and alert and sharp and focused. I focus on what I really, really want today. Today, I allow love, joy, peace in my life. For a free ebook and coaching, visit renewcommunitychurch.org.
I thought that was very appropriate. Very appropriate. Good morning to you. Oh my gosh. Dante writes, I'm glad he dressed up as George Washington instead of George Jefferson. That way he can be better identified. Is that right? What's the difference? uh, it's George Jefferson. Oh, my God. There are probably loads of Confederate clothing stores around America, especially in the South. You're probably right about that, Jan. It's probably big business. Let me get me a Confederate clothing store. He got it from one of those Halloween pop-up shops in the closed down shopping plaza. You hilarious, Christian. Check out the Echo Chamber podcast, Mondays, 8 p.m. right here on Facebook. Jenny writes, the NAACP petitioned for it during his second term. I wish somehow he would have run again. Not sure what they're talking about. Cass writes, who are you celebrating at a Bengals game? What are you celebrating at a Bengals game, Nate? They don't win. They're celebrating the moment. They're celebrating the expectation, the hope that they might win. I think at the Bengal games over the years, the real celebration happened. Let's be honest here. It happened at tailgating. Wasn't a whole lot of celebrating after the game. Tailgating at a Bengal game, if you ain't never did it before, one of the best experiences you're ever going to have, depending on the people you're with. Man, that shit can be so much fun. I'm talking about some good old-fashioned fun, just hanging out, tailgating, eating, drinking. Everybody's got their Bengal shit on and dancing around, having a good time. It don't matter if you're black or white. It's like if you don't matter, it's like a no racism zone. It's just the love of the team. Then they lead the game and go back to the real world. But tailgating is fun as hell if you never did it before. It is super fun if you're into that kind of stuff. But it all depends on the people you're with. If you're with the right people, oh my God, you have a blast. Y'all go to the game together. Y'all sit together, especially you get a win. Oh, shit. Lots of fun. So to answer your question, Cass, they're celebrating during tailgating. Because when the game starts, it's just like, right? It goes, that's what happens. That's me impersonating Bengals fans at home games. That's what happens. Terrence writes, good morning, everyone. Good to see you, bro. Sheila writes, good morning, everyone. Good to see you, Sheila. Brian writes, no need to debate with people regarding the vaccine or wearing a mask. The only thing that will get their attention is to get it or someone close to them is getting it and dying, unfortunately. Just like that husband who sent his last communication text to his wife stating that he wished he would have taken the shot. I did read that. It's just so simple. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan, it's Christian.
Hey, Christian. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, I won't take up too much of your time this morning. I just wanted to throw out some speculation as to what may be happening with the SORTA situation. As a former Metro driver and a current CPS employee, I'm sort of putting some things together here. I was employed with Metro back in 2009. I wasn't there for very long because I got caught up in the company's first ever mass layoffs. Matter of fact, got laid off the day after Christmas that year. My speculation is that if they're cutting routes, it's more than likely a money issue. And my guess is that it has something to do with how they're paying drivers. People may not realize about how Metro operates is that you have your part-time employees and your full-time employees. Your part-time employees are guaranteed 20 hours a week, although chances are you'll never work 20 hours. I mean, I was part-time and I was working maybe 60 hours a week. And then the only way to move into the full-time position is they have a limited number of full-time positions. And only way to get into a full-time position is for somebody to quit. And then you get to move up in the ranks of seniority. With the full-time positions, you are guaranteed 40 hours a week. And this is important to say because you're higher up in seniority and you get to choose your routes first. And a lot of the higher seniority people would choose the school routes because, as I said, they're guaranteed 40 hours a week, no matter what. So a lot of the higher paid and higher seniority people, they would choose the school routes because they got to work 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, and then they get paid for the entire day. So that is sort of my guess about what's happening. Is probably a money shortage thing because of how they're paying the drivers, and that's just from experience. That's what I think is probably happening. That's all I really want to say. Other than you guys make sure I got to plug the echo chambers Mondays at 8:30. Actually, I pushed it back just a little bit. So Nathan, I appreciate you and I appreciate the platform.
All right, brother, take it easy. Yes, Echo Chamber Podcast, 8:30 p.m. on Mondays. Good morning to you. So he says it probably comes down to dollars. Okay, could be. That makes sense. But I'm scheduled to speak with a member of the SORTA board or a SORTA board member at 9 a.m. this morning, and we can pick this person's brain about their perspective on what's going on and also talk about some other things that are happening here in the state of Ohio. So looking forward to it. Stick around. It's coming up real soon. Get your questions ready. If you have any, or you just take a free ride on our thoughts here. Tracy writes, geez, folks got time today. Yeah. 10T writes, in my Chris Ducker voice, damn. Sister V writes, Dem party is dysfunctional, failing black people with weak strategies, slow to act on issues, holding down voices of those who speak to the fierce urgency of now. Midterms at risk. Angela writes, what's the Delta variant death rate? That's a good question. I don't have it top of mind. Let me see if I can find something here. Christian writes, it wouldn't have been an issue if they would have entered the Capitol legally, build the wall. Right. Tracy writes, SORTA has a driver shortage, they say. Right. That's what I'm hearing too. That could be it. We got a driver shortage. So what can be done to entice more people to become drivers? All over the country in various industries, people are deciding they don't want to go back to work. They want to work for themselves. When I started the show, I was telling you that there is a series that's called Dream Job, right? That's not the title of it, but that's essentially what it's all about. And I started thinking about a dream job, and I don't have a dream job. Like, I don't dream about working for other people at this point in my life. I don't have those dreams. My dream job is creating something for myself. I used to have dream jobs, but I just look at things differently now. What about you? But a lot of people's dream job will not be $10 an hour. It may not be $15 an hour. If you're struggling to get people to work for you, then you got to make working for you more attractive. Make it more attractive. Put another zero on that motherfucker. Yes, that go a long way. I like commas and zeros. Don't you like commas and zeros in terms of salary? The more commas and zeros, the better. So put some more commas and zeros on it. Put some respect on that salary. Add something that makes people want to stop what they're doing and come work for you. And guess what? People will do it. Terrence writes, who appoints SORTA board members? I think there's multiple appointments. I think the city gets some appointments and so does the county, as I understand it. Danita writes, good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Angela writes, SORTA played the taxpayers. I'm going to bring this up because I've heard that before. Did SORTA play the taxpayers? Christian writes, I got laid off from Metro back in 2009. If they are cutting routes, it's because of money shortage. Regina writes, he just said that. Good morning. What's up, everything? Brian writes, Nate be on grudges. It's time to let it go, Nate. You right. Dale writes, I got him triggered. I think you mean Fame be holding grudges, right? Change of pace, dog. Minding my own black ass business. Tracy writes Virgo-ish. OMG fame, no, right. Sister V writes, I blame Fauci. He should have never told the unvaccinated to take your mask off. I agree. Yeah, Junior was in the room. He was all in this rant. I had to turn it down so he couldn't hear. He didn't pick up on it at all. Asha writes, wow, I joined at the wrong time. What is happening? Fame. Susan writes, OMG, not in front of the baby. Junior, remember your vibranium. His mask is a muzzle. What? Nikki writes, good morning. Sister Iris writes, oh no. SPCA alert. Your fame is a wild boy. He is wild. He's super wild. Terrence writes, commercial break. Danita writes, now that was a funny segment, Nate, and now a word from our sponsor. I felt like that was a good time to take a break. Oh, man. Why does Fame always resort to the male genitalia anatomy when he insults other men? It is very strange, Janice. I thought the same thing. He talks too much about it for it not to matter. Somehow that means something to him. I don't know what it is. I'll let him have it. Angela writes, so a couple of years ago, when strategically SORTA was cutting routes, closing stops for rapid transit service, etc. But all of a sudden, they can conceptualize to add 2 new crosstown routes to handle student traffic in like 4 or 5 week time frame. Sounds fishy, she writes. Marisha writes, good morning. David writes, tailgating is undefeated. Yeah, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of fun with the right people. Got to have the right people. It's a lot of fun. Whether you drink or don't drink, it's a lot of fun. If the weather is right. I ain't trying to be out there in this super cold to watch no losing ass team. But like those first couple of home games, man, some of the best times you're going to have in Cincinnati. You should go do it. If you never did it before, get some of your friends and go tailgate for the first Bengal home game. You're going to have a ball. You're going to meet some different people. You have a good time. Wifey said something about that last call and the words used. Pat writes, Nate, where is Nate Jr.? He's on his way to summer camp. Brenda writes, tailgating is fun. Danita writes, I have a ball at Bengals games. We usually go to 2 a season. Bengal fans don't care about the win in the jungle. And plus, you are guaranteed to see at least one person drop their beer and one person that wants everyone to call the stadium jerk line to report. So basically some comedy, right? Kathy writes, good morning, all. Good morning to you. Terrence writes, Nate's having Chelsea Clark on at 9 a.m. Yes, I am. Akeem writes, any word on ban on no knocks asking for Gil Scott Heron? That's hilarious. Really? Answer writes, increased salaries will mean an increase passed along to consumers in goods and services. Well, that's what they say, and so be it. If that's what it takes to get people to come back to work, then that's what they're going to have to do if you want people to work. Like if you own a restaurant, how you going, if you don't have waiters and all the people, bussers, cooks and all that kind of stuff, they don't want to work for you, you don't have no business. But I get it. Yeah, we might have to fill it a little bit. Brent writes, they got that levy passed, so I'm wondering why there's a problem financially. Everybody wants to know that. Sister V writes, how can SORTA expand routes and the claim driver shortage for school routes? I get it. I get it 100%. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Nate. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning, Danita.
Hey, I missed being able to call in, back to work, getting ready for staff and students to come back, but flexing time today, so I was able to listen to the show this morning.
I'm glad to hear it. What's on your mind?
Just one thing, the last comment that you read about increased salaries means that you're going to have to increase services and costs. That is a myth. by the Republicans who believe in trickle-down economy. If businesses increase salaries, that does not mean that they're going to lose profit. It means that the corporation, the people that, the CEOs may have to take a hit in their billion-dollar salaries. So instead of making $20 billion, they're going to make $10 billion. They only pass the cost along to the consumers because they don't want to give up that money. So that is a myth that because we increase salaries, you're going to have to increase costs. That is just greed.
What about small businesses? Let's say you got like a mom and pop restaurant or something like that.
But even small businesses, Nate, yeah, your profit margin is going to go down, but it's not going to cause you to have to lose profit. Because you think about it, even in a small business, when you increase salaries for your staff, what happens? Your staff is more likely to come to work on time. Their performance is going to be better. So that means the service to your customers is going to be better. You get what I'm saying? It is a trickle effect either way that you look at it. Because if you're only paying me $8 an hour and you expect $15 an hour service out of me, you're not going to get it. Which means I'm not passing that on to your customers, which means your customers ain't going to come. Because nobody wants, as a customer, I don't want to put up with that. But that's why people struggle. I'm not going to work for $8 an hour. You understand what I'm saying? And then you want to work me so hard, but you want to make me part-time so that way I don't get benefits. So then I end up having to work 2 or 3 jobs just to make a living. And I'm sorry, in this country that we're supposed to be the greatest country in the world, no person should have to work 2 or 3 jobs to simply be able to pay the rent. That's an issue, Nate, for me. That's the issue.
All right, I'm with you. Anything else?
Yeah, my other thing is I happened to catch part of Drop's comments yesterday. And then I had someone come in the office, so I had to turn the show off. But the one thing that I did catch was he was talking about how fractured the Democrat Party is and how solid the Republican Party is. And it just cracked me up because I think if you ask Liz Cheney if the Republican Party is fractured, I think her response would be yes. I heard about Cuomo, being an example of the fracturing of the Democratic Party, but I'm not quite sure why Kavanaugh wasn't an example of the fracturing of the Republican Party. I'm not quite sure why all of these Republicans who have been accused of sexual harassment are not an example of fracturing in the Republican Party. It just seems like whenever it is a Democrat, and let me put this way, a person who votes Democrat, whatever they say automatically becomes the platform for all Democrats. You know what I'm saying? And Drop isn't the only person who does that. You could have a Democrat on a local level say something, and then all of a sudden the Republicans want to tout that is representative of all Democrats if it's something that they think people are not going to agree with. Democrats and people on the whole, we're not monoliths. We think differently. I vote Democrat because I believe in the policies of the Democrats. I am for the working man. I am pro-union. I am pro-public school. I am pro-choice. I am community, and I am for public assistance. And I'm for those ideas that we have to take care of each other. Does that mean that I agree with every single policy that the Democrats put forth? No. Does that mean that I agree with every single Democrat politician? Absolutely not. But when I look at a voting platform, my philosophies align more with Democrats than they do Republicans. So let's not pretend that we agree with everything that the party that we vote for in that particular election that we agree with. But that is what they want to try to make it seem. And how Black Lives Matter became a Democrat platform, according to Drop, I'm not sure. And we also got to look at, to me, that I separate the two. There is Black Lives Matter, the philosophy, and Black Lives Matter, the organization. I have a lot of problems with the organization, but the philosophy that every life should matter, that shouldn't be Democrat, Republican, or independent. That is a human rights issue. Everybody should be for Black Lives Matter. And you don't have to support the organization because some of the foolishness they do. But everyone should think that Black Lives Matter. Does that make sense?
It does.
So that's all I got. Hope to be able to tune in a little bit more before school starts, but not sure how that's going to work out. So I'll catch y'all later, Chopper.
All right, take it easy. Yeah, we're about to make that shift. I got to think about the time frame for the show just a little bit. I may change it to match the new reality. May change it to match the new reality. So we got to talk about this. This happened in Detroit. We've got to talk about this. I got a video for you. And in the video, you see this man who's got the blue and the orange shirt on. He gets approached by these 3 officers who are telling him to get off the street. And he ends up lying flat on his back because the black officer sucker punched him straight in he hit him straight in the jaw, straight in the face, knocked the brother straight down. And currently this situation is being investigated in Detroit. I watched the video and I was thinking black cop, black cop, black cop, black cop. Like, come on now. So what we doing? I mean, the dude is standing there. He gets approached by 3 officers. He doesn't make any kind of gesture whatsoever, nothing menacing at all. And he ends up getting sucker punched straight in the face. How is that good police work? He wasn't a threat. He didn't pose a threat. He might have been a situation where they had told him to get out the street and he was moving too slow, or maybe he was just being straight up defiant. And it was the black officer that took a swing at him. Knocked him straight on his back. You're looking at the image right there, and I'm thinking to myself, what in the hell? So we would expect that kind of treatment from the others. But honestly, you get some black folks, they get into positions of authority, and they feel like they got to prove, right, to the hierarchy that I'm willing to get tough on my own people. You know, what I saw was straight up despicable. I got the video for you. We'll play it for you probably after my interview, because coming up in about 5 minutes, I'm scheduled to speak with Chelsea Clark. Now, Chelsea Clark is a member of the Forest Park board, and not board, but council, Forest Park Council. And she's also running for a state position as well. And she's also a member of SORTA, on the SORTA board. So hopefully she can help us sort it out. See how it works? She can help us sort out this situation. Looking forward to that. Just coming up in a couple of minutes. And then after that, I want to come back to this and play this video for you. I mean, it's just sickening, man. I mean, he had no reason to. He just straight up and just went straight in the dude's jaw. He could have killed him, quite honestly. You can kill somebody like that because when they drop, their head hit the concrete. Dude went straight backwards, bam, hit his head. And then the officer picks him up and kind of like places him so he can rest his head on his knees. And nobody says anything except for the bystanders who are like, man, you ain't have to do that. You ain't have to do that. But I guarantee you that when this officer sits down in front of people and they start asking questions, I guarantee what he's going to say is his hands made a movement, or what happened before that was he was acting more aggressive. You know, I guarantee he's going to play it like that. I doubt he's going to fall on his sword. That's very, very rare when a situation like that happens. And when you see officers, or really anybody that gets caught behaving badly at the job, it's very rare when they take ownership of it. It's very, very rare. I'm just saying, good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Crazy. I'll play it for you if you haven't already seen it. Nat writes, Ice Cube told us about those type of cops a while ago, right? There was. Wasn't there a famous movie where you had a black officer that was going super hard at the youngins? Remember that? With Trey, his father, Furious. Remember that? I don't know, man. I'm watching the video like, come on, bro. You didn't have to do that. You could have just put him under arrest. The dude wasn't putting up any kind of protest. He was just standing there. Walked over and straight cold cocked this dude, man. Dude didn't even see it coming. And what that tells me is when you see the video, you can tell that it was all premeditated. Like that was his purpose. That was what he was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, while I'm waiting, let me see if I can pull this off for you right now. We can get straight into it. At least I can show you the video, but it's sickening, man. It's sickening what we do to one another. And to me, if you're in a position of authority, then I put the onus on you. I put the onus on you. If you're in a position of authority, I put the onus on you. And the chief of police in Detroit, which is Police Chief James Craig, who used to be the chief in Cincinnati, Hollywood James Craig. He's now running for governor, or at least he's thinking about it. He said he expressed concerns over the video. Huh? Concerns? Quote, I have some serious concerns as to how that was handled. We've come to expect our officers to de-escalate situations. I did not see de-escalation there. I didn't see our training there. If there's a violation, we are going to hold the officers accountable, and we are going to be transparent about it to the community. Oh boy. He said the A and the T word, accountable and transparent. Oh boy. I know those officers are like, oh damn, we about to be made an example of. But that comes with the territory. So listen, we'll get back to that. Like I told you, we have a guest coming up. We got Chelsea Clark. She's backstage. Can you hear me, Chelsea? Hey, good to see you. Looking great as always. Let's bring her straight into the show. Hey, Chelsea, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Nathan. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you for some time this morning.
No problem. Glad to be here. Wish it were under better circumstances, but nevertheless.
Oh, for sure. So now you're on the air. I want to talk about everything. All of it.
Oh Lord.
All of it. I want to talk about I want to talk about SORTA. I want to sort this out, see how I'm using these devices now.
I love it.
I've been doing this for a while, right?
You have. So, you are a master.
Yeah, I want to talk about SORTA, and I want to talk about your state run. We got to talk about that as well. We got to talk about everything. But let's talk about SORTA. So how long have you been a member on the SORTA board, and who appointed you?
So been a member since it was made official as a swearing in February. And so yes.
And who appointed you to the board?
I was brought in by Denise Treehouse.
By Denise Treehouse.
Suggested.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, suggested, and then of course board, yes, and then of course board approved.
Okay. And so that's like the Hamilton County side of things. Okay.
Absolutely.
So
I had done some, in terms of the background work, and that's perhaps where I'll start off. I was a fan of the work that we did and the work that was being done for the push for Metro 7 out here in Forest Park. Of course, we don't always get access to some of the good stuff that's happening, but we have a number of residents that use that service and would really benefit from increased transportation services. And so it was really a goal of mine to help in its passage. And so as a councilwoman here in Forest Park, passed a resolution supporting this countywide initiative. And so when it was passed, we were all too thrilled and excited about it, not just for the 25% of infrastructure funds that the county would receive, and hopefully we could get some dibs on that, but also for the reinvention of it and making it more accessible and hopefully equitable. And unfortunately, what I'm seeing right now is not that.
Okay, so let's go there, because people are saying that there's a direct relationship between the passage of the levy, right, which was supposed to give us more routes, more, and now what we're seeing with the changes with CPS. Is there a connection between the two, in your opinion?
I believe that this is counter to the work that we started out in the goal and vision of what SORTA is supposed to be doing in terms of reinventing. So our understanding, listen, we come into a board meeting and the quite frankly, we were asked to come to an emergency board meeting. We arrived last Wednesday, and we've got several of our operators that are launching major concerns, and we're as board members thinking we're trying to place what their why they're upset, because it hadn't even been brought to us yet that this detraction of services is about to take place. So we're over halfway into the board meeting, 3/4 in, I'd say, and after we're asking questions and trying to determine what's really at stake and what's actually going on, then we learn in a almost a covert way that, oh well, this is not, this is the deletion of student service transportation. And in the agenda items, which I'm looking at right here, which is what we were operating off of and we're being told and reviewing, it's improved student transportation options, expanded service hours, more direct service where 400 students now won't have to transfer twice, increased access, shorter trip times, more options, partnered with CPS to meet the students' transportation needs. And then lo and behold, we've got something else at foot. That's a problem. That's a problem for the board to not even be privy to what is happening. I've been on the phone for the past few days with all sorts of folks, from whether it's the school system or our operators, and to my knowledge and from what I've gathered, they were completely made unaware of what was transpiring and about to happen. And that's I think it's ethically wrong, and we have a fiscal responsibility to steward all this money that we told voters would be going to expanded services, and especially not thinking that it's going to put our children at risk.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So when you say ethically wrong, what don't we know? Who dropped the ball? Where is the fault here? Is it with CPS? I've read an article from Cincinnati.com, and it seems as if there was a director of transportation that seems to be at the center of this. As a SORTA board member, is that what you're hearing? What are you seeing on your side of things?
And nothing. When I say quite literally, there was nothing other than the SORTA Board of Trustees meeting fall service update. That's what we got. That's it. That literally is the only preface that we receive. So in terms of accountability or fault, if you will, there certainly is some. We are expecting the board chair, Daryl Haley, and Craig Cassey, and executive director Daryl Haley, to bring us another plan that is transparent and is equitable, because this does not, in my opinion, I am speaking, mind you, as an independent individual on this board. I'm not speaking for the entire board, but from my purview, this is not equitable, and this is certainly not transparent.
Okay, so you feel as if there wasn't enough information that was given to the board members. So what is Metro saying?
And there's a comment that just got put forth. Not that I can address all of these without in their entirety, but this was not even a voted on board decision. That's how much of a board absence this was. There was no board vote on this.
Okay.
At all.
Was there any board interaction? And if so, who interacted with CPS from the SORTA board, to your knowledge?
The only ones that I would know of, or that it seems to be, would be our executive director and board chair. But as far as us as the board, there was absolutely no communication, even in terms of who we were supposed to be contacting with, the school system. Our job is an oversight and reviewing what is being brought to us. But there's nothing to review when behind closed doors you've already established what you're going to do, and you're just sharing it with us and not even bringing it up to a board vote. Right. That's a problem. So I'm really thankful that CPA has struck it down. That's a benefit to us, because now that's going to force an actual professional procedure to take place, where the board should absolutely be brought in on these conversations, and there should be full transparency.
I thought that the levy was a good idea. I still think it was a good idea, because for so many different reasons. But is what we're talking about right now with CPS and SORTA an unintended consequence in any way, in your opinion?
I'm so sorry. Repeat that.
I'm saying I thought that the levy for Metro was a good idea. I thought it was good for the county.
Absolutely.
I still think it was good for the county. But in your opinion, my question is what we're talking about right now with CPS and shutting down the extra buses, is in any way that an unintended consequence of the levy?
I didn't anticipate that to be one. I know that we've got challenges in recruitment and hiring of operators. A lot of places are dealing with that same thing. What I would not expect for it to trigger some of our most valuable, or I'm sorry, some of our most you know citizens that need the most assistance and help and advocacy. I would not anticipate putting children. We're in the middle of a daggone pandemic. You're gonna add children to already existing routes with adults. These children aren't vaccinated by and large, much less the majority of even the existing riders. You're talking about a serious health consequence, in my opinion, that we are subjecting these children to. When we were asked in the board meeting, because mind you, it was never explicitly stated. The board meeting didn't say, oh, by the time we get to this slide for improved student options, that we're going to be cutting the services. That was not implied. We as board members kept asking questions because the one slide in particular that really bothered us was that 61 additional operators previously now reduced to 16. So we couldn't wrap our heads around in what situation or circumstance could you now reduce to 16 operators? Well, logically, pretty much the only way you get there is if you remove services or remove buses or routes. And we're not thinking that's the case, especially when it comes to student services. So once we continued to ask questions and ask questions and ask questions, trying to figure out exactly what this thing is, it was then revealed, oh, well, it may have been Miss Gwen Robinson, but I can't say for sure. This wasn't even a televised meeting, which is a whole nother set of issues, in my opinion. But when she remarked and asked that more targeted question, trying to pull back the layers of this, it was brought to us by the chair that this is a deletion of student services. And my question was, well, what does that even look like? I don't even have a visual on how that looks. What you would have had in our minds, logically, we were thinking that you would have had to have made some serious inroads. There would have to be some serious logistics, not to mention extreme communication between us and Cincinnati Public School, which none of us are made privy to, as well as the operators, and then the community at large. This affects people's children. You got kids now getting off the bus at maybe 6 p.m. now? 7th and 8th graders? It's a mess.
Agreed. It is a mess. I appreciate your time.
It's a mess, and it's unfair. I think it's a real miscarriage because there's not a lot of money, and for us to be able to achieve something like this in 48 years, it hadn't been successfully accomplished. To get this money, we've got to make sure that if a decision even similar to this is the result, that one, it's phased in. You can't just knee jerk and do something like this weeks before school starts. That everybody should be included in the conversation, that there are community listening in, opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. There's a number of things that have to happen before you move to an aggressive move like this, and it did not happen. It certainly didn't happen with board approval.
Who is the executive director and who is the board chair?
The executive director is Daryl Haley, and our board chair is Craig Cassey.
Craig Cassey. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to reach out to those gentlemen and get their perspective as well. I appreciate your time this morning. So here's the big question, Chelsea. What can we do now? I mean, is it too late to go back to the busing plan that we had last year at this point?
Well, and I don't even know. I'm not even aware of the new contract that was signed. But the fact that, like I said, I alluded to the fact that CPS has voted it, that they voted this down and said, hey, you must go back to the contract, then that gives us, of course, some leverage. And as a board, well, I can't speak for the entire board, but I'm I am calling for a new plan with transparency, and we will follow actual procedural steps where the community is front and center and our operators are part of this conversation. I do not believe we should make decisions unilaterally and in silos that affect large groups of people, especially our babies. It's just not right.
Yeah,
So
agree
we are
100%.
working on that.
Is there a board meeting tonight?
There is a meeting for tonight. Believe it or not, I've not even received an invitation. So
you haven't received an invitation?
No,
You're a board member.
several of us. So I am, from what I understand, yes, there's a meeting at 4 to 6 that is made, and it was made in a media release. So let me rephrase a tad bit. I was not directly invited, but apparently since it's in a media release, then that means I'm quasi invited, so to speak. So I've already reached out and having some obviously opportunities to speak, which I demand. It should have been an in-person meeting. I think in a large venue would be best, but now it's been moved, as my understanding is, to a virtual space. I think having a virtual setting for a meeting where people are, with what's going on and how frustrating it is also a disservice, and quite frankly a little discompassionate, because you've got a lot of parents that are still moving around and can't quite can't engage as they would from a 4 p.m. standpoint. So I think it'd be best to have it in a public format, and then have of course Zoom options as well. Have a hybrid.
Man, I wonder, would that open up SORTA to any kind of liability, since the decision was made so quickly? I mean, if something happens with someone's kid, I don't know the legalities of it, but
I am unsure of that as well, but those are the things that cross my mind. So you have to, if you can, look at this as, when you get to a meeting, we've all been in those situations, right? Where you come to a meeting and it's very clear there's been a meeting before the meeting and you're just not made aware. And so when you're in that situation, you are using, you're resting on your analytical skills, and you're trying to read between the lines and formulate questions. There's no way that in those moments, with all the chatter and all the noise, that you're able to successfully kind of pull and unpack all those questions. And those are things that were coming up and popping up, and you're trying to articulate it. It's not it's just not the space, because again, it was done out of order. And when things are done out of order, you can't have the best result.
I appreciate your time. Let's talk about your run for Secretary of State. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so very much.
I thought it was a really bold and super dope move. We need conscious people, a conscious person in that particular position. Tell us why you decided to run for Secretary of State, and a little bit about your platform.
Oh, sure. So most people don't know, but I'm actually a 6th generation farmer. So grew up farming, grew up in Allen County, and Families Union. My mother and my stepfather. I graduated business and political science degree from Miami University. And of course, as you know, I'm a councilwoman, and a lot of my work on council has been in developing space and access for minority business enterprises, so that they can be sustainable, scale, and whatnot. So we were able to successfully bring mortar, and I launched our city's very first minority business initiative. I too am a business owner. It has not been easy as a Black female, and especially in the STEM space. And so that, coupled with a lot of experiences, at the polls, and one in particular last year really jarred me, in talking with an elderly lady about, her experience and whatnot. And she said, I was, part of that fight back then for the Voting Rights Act in the 60s. And I asked her, did you think that you'd still be here in 2020, when I was working on the polls? And she said, I had no idea. She said, I can't imagine that we're still fighting for this. We look at John Lewis, and the poor man had to fight up until the day he died. I'm running because people shouldn't have to be lifelong activists for fundamental rights. If I had a business and I had 2-hour long lines, I wouldn't have a business very long. You've got people in rural areas that can't even get to a ballot box, or it's taken 2 hours just round trip just to get there on country roads and things like that. We were talking about assault on our fundamental rights. We're talking about gates that can clog and make inaccessible and make it difficult for business owners to register and business owners to file and things like that. So we need to be able to have infrastructure statewide that's supported for our small micro businesses, minority and women-led and veteran. And then, of course, obviously making sure that it is accessible to engage in our constitutional right. And so that is why I'm running.
Interesting. So what are some of the things that if you?
Oh, and I'm sorry. Yes, you were talking about platform. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, your platform.
Got a little excited there. So definitely a fan. I'm supporting and advocating for multiple secure drop boxes per county. I do not like us, with so you got 294, Bill 294, which is a voter suppression bill being pushed. I'm against it in so many different ways, removing our Mondays, decreasing our time for early voting. Those all create clogs to the system and make it very difficult for people, especially in marginalized Black and Brown communities. And that's something that we've got to eliminate. I want to make it so that we've got expanded time to request our absentee ballots. I was a former military spouse, and for military families, that's a tall order to now decrease it, to 10 days to be requesting absentee ballots. We've had voter purges that where people were very legal and very legally registered and were purged from a system that they shouldn't be. So those are some reasons, as well as campaign finance. There's a lot of dark money, and there's a lot of mess that's going on in Columbus, and it does need to be cleaned up. There should be transparency in these processes, and we should know where this money is coming from and funding campaigns.
Oh, Chelsea, I appreciate your time this morning. Can I say this? Can we stay connected as more information comes out about this issue with SORTA? And also as we get closer to the election, I'd love for you to come back on and talk more about your platform. I really appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you so much.
Most def. That's Chelsea Clark, everybody. And I enjoyed the conversation with her. I appreciate it. I think that that's very, very interesting, her perspective. And when I first read about her running for Secretary of State, I like the idea. I like the idea a lot. So that's the first time I really got a chance to talk a little bit of politics with her. But what is your general impression? You can hit me up at 513-873-7134. Again, we need common sense as Secretary of State, because Lord knows, man, God only knows. We already know. But I thought that was a strong conversation, though. I thought it was a strong conversation. I need to process a little bit more. And I want to hear what comes from this big SORTA board meeting that's happening after the decision was made. But she said, look, I'm a SORTA board member, and we get information late ourselves. So that points me in the direction of the executive director and the board chair. I'd like to know who they were talking with CPS and why the decision was made this way. So, but again, what do you think? 513-873-7134. James writes, smart lady, wrong party. As in what? She should be a Republican? Hell to the nah. Nah. Yeah, I thought it was a strong conversation. Angela writes, going to see if she's got a page to follow her. She does. She does have a page. Angela writes, great interview. Tabitha writes, thank you, Miss Clark. Sister V writes, gotta go to work, wishing the sister well, much love. Absolutely. Sister Iris writes, thank you, Chelsea Clark. And very interesting. Let me see. Terrence writes, Open Records Act for those emails, Nate. Is that right? Okay. Let me see. A shout to JD. I appreciate her making the connect for the conversation with Chelsea. I appreciate that. Again, I mean, if you got a line on a guest, hit me up. I can't see everything. I can't be everywhere. Terrence writes, I work with the current Secretary of State on these same issues. The Republican legislators are doing this. SOS can only execute laws given by the Assembly. Okay. Let me see. Nat writes, I wish the sister well. Maybe her farming background will help her speak to the rural areas of Ohio. I think it absolutely will. Absolutely will. It just makes sense, right? Let me see. Terrence writes, SB5 streamlined some of those processes. Okay. I understand. Again, what was your impression of Chelsea? What she had to say as a school board member? I'm sorry, SORTA board member. Clarice writes, great information. Thanks, Chelsea Clark. Absolutely. Charlie Wimber is in the house. We got the Humboldt County Treasurer with us. He writes, good morning, my dear friends. Favor and grace on you today. Absolutely. Absolutely. Somebody writes, James is smoking. What is James smoking? Milani writes, replying to Dave, that was ignorant. I used to drive for Metro years ago. Some people are concerned about the safety of themselves, company backing and support, and being financially appreciated. Drugs are not always an issue for people not wanting to do a particular job. Stop. I would agree with you. I think it's a lot of reasons why. I think COVID is giving people a chance to stand back and think about multiple income streams and how they can get around working for somebody else and still make ends meet. And now that they develop those skills, why go back working for somebody else? Like, my dream job is an opportunity that I create for myself. I don't dream about working for anybody else. I don't dream about having a boss. Who does that? I don't care what the job is. Who dreams about having a boss? I know I don't. Not a boss of you, but a boss of the position you might find yourself in. So I'm just saying. Again, what was your general impression of Chelsea Clark this morning? Favorable, not favorable, thumbs up, thumbs down. Ray writes, I don't know why you saying you was gonna smack DL tickles me. So yeah. So I was doing an interview back in my days in corporate commercial radio. DL Hughley was coming through the city. And I just happened to be on the air. Sometimes interviews happen that way where you have no idea that a celebrity's coming in town. You just happen to be on the air, and you look through the window and you see him walking around. And that's when it's up to you or your producer to go try to make the interview happen. I don't remember what happened. I think Jerry set that up with me, actually. He comes on the air. It was a cool interview. He was a cool interview. We get off the air. All of a sudden, he wants to start telling jokes. He wants me to be the brunt of the jokes. I didn't realize how short D.L. Hughley is. And so what happens is, this is not every short dude, but sometimes when a short dude gets around a tall guy, his insecurities start to come out. And it manifests in different ways. Sometimes it manifests with poking the bear. A lot of short guys like to do that. And so that's what he was on that day. I don't remember what he said. I thought it was a decent interview, but it could have went left. I can't remember what we talked about, but when we went into the hallway, he had one of his little handlers with him. I guess it was his boy or whatever. He just started cracking. It wasn't nothing super disrespectful because I would have put an end to it, but it was enough to make me want to smack D.L. Hughley right across his mouth. But I didn't. I thought about it. It didn't serve my purposes. You know what I'm saying? Like where I'm at now, I smack him right across his motherfucking mouth so quick. And it'd just be something that we could talk about on the internet. But I was working for other people then and was worried about losing my job and all that kind of stuff. So I decided not to do it. That's a true story, by the way. It is what it is. I'm sure there's a lot of people that's felt that way before. It ain't uncommon. But it is a true story. Nat writes, D.O. tried to roast me. Yeah, he did try to roast me. He did. I admit it. And I don't know why. It's just that little, I could see it in his eyes. I'm 6'4". Sometimes when I've got around little smaller dudes, their insecurities come out. It's the weakest thing in the world to me. I have no respect for whatsoever. I don't care what your stature is. A man should be a man. And some men, they like to pick a little bit. They want to poke the bear. I think they want to see what you'll do to him or something like that. He was on some of that shit that day. And I thought about smacking him across the back with the back of my back of my hand. This one right here. But I didn't. But that's a little story there. It's a true story. Falase writes, I'm weak. Y'all think I'm joking. I'm dead serious. I swear on everything. It's a true story. But I didn't. So it doesn't really matter. Let me see. Y'all funny. Jane is in the house. Good morning to you, Jane. She writes, good morning, everyone. As I switch the gears here. But again, 100% true story. Brent writes, they get the taxpayers' money and then reduce services. Where they do that at? They did get the that's the big question. Even Alicia Reese was talking about it. Hell, Chelsea Clark just brought it up. We have a certain commitment. I don't know if there's a direct connection between the reduction in the extra services for CPS and the passage of the levy. I still think that the levy was a good thing for Hamilton County, and in the future, we'll all embrace that. That's what I still believe. Okay, I still think it was a good idea. But sometimes you can put a good idea in motion, and then you have unintended consequences that you have to deal with along the way. And I'm wondering if that's it. It sounds to me, so who knows what the underlying motivation is, but from talking with Chelsea, it sounds to me as if you had leadership on the SORTA board that was working directly with CPS. They made this decision and didn't let everybody know on the SORTA side. I mean, that's what Chelsea just said. So it's two levels to it. Number one, it's the motivations that led to the decision. We don't know what that is. And then how they made the decision, how they rolled it out, how they involve people, if they involve people. So it's two different levels to it, in my opinion. So, we shall see. We shall see. Pat writes, I would love to know what Cam Hardy thinks about this mess. I bet he is very disappointed. I think Cam has a very valuable voice on these matters and others. And it would be interesting to hear what he thinks about it. I think he's talked about on his Facebook page. I just don't remember what was said, quite honestly. Y'all like that D.L. Hughley story, huh? It's a true story. Charles writes, you wanted to slap deer spit out of DL, Nate, LOL. Maybe I shouldn't have told this story. Because nothing happened. Bunky writes, Nate, DL would have dog walked you. DL Hughley would not have dog walked me. He would have got hurt. That's what would have happened. And so that's why I didn't do it, because these are really for enemies. This is not just for somebody that irritates me. I reserve these for enemies. That's what they're for. Like, you're an enemy to my family or to me. You trying to cause some great bodily harm. Not just you talking shit and you press my buttons. You don't deserve this. So he didn't deserve that. So I didn't give it to him. And that's the truth. He didn't deserve that. That's why I didn't do it. If he would have deserved it, he would have got that. But just talking some ish, whether you push my buttons or not, you don't really deserve that. So, and again, I didn't want to lose my job. So I didn't do it. Bunky writes, hi, I'm Nate. I'm 6'4". You ain't going to let me live today, right? I can't live today, Bunky. God damn it. Can I live, please? Bunky is on my arms today. Okay, bro. All right, man. I see you. Janice writes, yes, respectfully, short men do seem to have something to prove. Yes, it's called a Napoleonic complex. I've dealt with a lot of short dudes in my lifetime, man. They got super huge Napoleonic complex, and it manifests itself in different ways. Everybody's different. To me, I don't care what your stature is. Just do you. Give a damn. Be you. I'm not thinking about that, really. That's not really been something I ever thought about, but Bunky is on my earns today. James writes, violence is necessary, ? Turn the other cheek. Yeah, that's what I did. I turned the other cheek and kept on going because it wasn't worth it. Like I said, my life wasn't in jeopardy. I mean, I didn't feel threatened in any way whatsoever. It was just some nonsense. However, I do believe that you can say the wrong thing to certain people and get your ass stomped to the ground. It depends on the individuals. I know some people believe, you shouldn't say nothing if it's just words. I don't believe that one bit. You can say the wrong thing to somebody and wake up the next day and you deserve that. I believe in fighting words, but not on a work setting. I mean, it just wasn't worth it. So no, some people are like, I can say anything I want to say to you. You can try it. You can try it. But where they do that at? They don't do that out here. Not one bit. We need a celebrity boxing match. Nathan, one man, one mic, Ivy versus DL GED Shop Hughley. It would be disastrous for DL Hughley. It wouldn't even be a fight. It wouldn't be a fight at all. DL Hughley, it wouldn't be good. Just put it that way. I would do it for charity. Janice writes, does anybody remember the movie The Bigger They Are, The Harder They Fall? Yeah, that's a myth. That's a myth. I guess that's like, if you look at the science, that's true. But in all practical terms, that's not something that, let's put it that way. Angela writes, I thought about slapping him with the back of my hand. This one right here. Yeah. You ever heard somebody try to get with you as a man and you looking at them like, I will smash them, right? And you just like, it tickles you a little bit, like, and it pisses you off, like the nerve of this fella. So it was kind of like that. I'm just being honest with you. I'm no tough guy whatsoever. Anybody knows me, man, I'm Mr. Softy. I am Mr. Softy. Sister Irish writes, D.L. Hughley capped on me as well. I wanted to punch him in the face, but I was on stage in front of a lot of people. He violated our boycott. Yeah, D.L. Hughley, man, that's just his way. And I thought about it afterward. I'm like, that's just his way. He's a comic. He probably tells jokes when he's nervous. I get it, so it was no big deal. Again, I ain't do shit. So it ain't really, I told you now, because it came up somehow. James writes, Jesus will reward you, Mr. Nathan Ivey. Really, James? He's going to reward me for not slapping the fire out of D.L. Hughley. It was right down in the hallway of the Radio 1 studios. Yeah, I'll never forget it. Never forget. I walked out there like, man, this is D.L. Hughley. Next thing I know, I'm getting roasted. I'm like, I don't like the way this feel. And I can't remember what he said. I'm trying to remember what he said. It wasn't nothing that was like disrespectful, because I would have checked him right then and there. It wasn't nothing disrespectful. It was just, I don't remember what it was, quite honestly. I just know it rubbed me the wrong way. But I can't remember what he said. It was so long ago. Let me see. Billy writes, for all those who keep turning the other cheek, how does both cheeks feel? Right. How big is DL? 5'5" Nate, you will get no flowers fighting DL. I wasn't looking for flowers at all. Not trying. Like I said, anybody knows me know I'm a big old softy teddy bear. Big old soft. I'm the nicest guy you could ever meet. 100%. I'm running from the fight. I don't want no smoke with nobody whatsoever. Everybody knows that. Terrence writes, he said, look at Lurch coming into the hallway. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Y'all is so wrong, man. Oh, man. I used to get that in high school. People used to use Lurch. I'm like, who the fuck is Lurch? I had no idea. It's like the Addams Family because I was tall as shit, man. That shit is so hilarious. You was funny for that. I'm getting that work today from the chop shop. Okay. It comes with territory. Let me see. Oh, I know. It's nothing but love, Bunky. Absolutely, man. We having fun. We can't laugh in these crazy times we live in, man. We'll be messed up. That's why I spend most of the day laughing. Because we got to laugh at these crazy times we live in, man. This world's so messed up. So if I can just parlay with the peoples, man, and we can laugh, even if I'm the brunt of the joke, cool. I don't mind that shit. It's all come with the territory. Got to have fun, right? Janice writes, a tall man friend of mine said a short man is one of the worst to fight. Just don't let them tackle you around the knees. There are some things to consider. There's some things to consider. James writes, vaccine is only for those who want it. Stop with the socialism. Y'all gonna worry me to death about this damn vaccine. Let me play this video for you. I want to play this video. I don't think you've seen this yet. You got to see this shit. This shit is crazy, yo. You got to see this. This man is just simply walking. And the next thing you know, now the video starts very, very quickly. Pardon me. There is another part to the video that I can show you that is an extended clip. Okay. And in the extended clip, you see everything that's happening like before what I'm about to show you. Okay, this is violent. I'm going to show you this real quick. This is violent. If you don't like violence, you might want to tune away. If you don't like this kind of stuff, which I completely respect, this is not for you. I'm going to give you about 15 more seconds, give you some time and get to a safe place. You may hear some extreme language, so if you're at work, You might want to pot it down for a minute, put them ear pods in your ear, whatever you got to do so people can't hear. Just want to give you a heads up on it. All right, want to give you a heads up. And we're going to play this tape. Check this out. This happened in Detroit, y'all. This is Chief James Craig's people. Check this out.
Y'all ain't got to do that, dog. Oh. Oh, my Lord. Y'all ain't got to do that, dog. Oh. Oh, my Lord. Oh. He the black nigga that hit him, though.
So he said it was a black man that hit him because he used other language there. So I only play this for the purposes of just giving you a sense of what went down and what happened. Look at that. So the brother was damn near retreating, got cold, straight, knocked out by a police officer. Nobody did a damn thing. Nobody checked him. Now, why would a black man do that to another black man? My question, though, is it justified? Because what you don't see is everything that happened before that. I have the benefit of seeing both videos. There's another video that was released. And in the video, the second video, you get a chance to see more of what happened leading up to it. And they have been asking this guy, the man who was knocked down, they have been asking him, by they, I mean, the police have been instructing him, ordering him to leave the situation for some time, and he just wouldn't leave. Sissy Tigers writes, that's some bull. I hope he sues the hell out of that PD, right? What's up, Danny? Good to see you. He writes, good morning. Danny Dozer, good to see you. James writes, Jesus don't like ugly. Serves him right. Leave the police alone and stop being criminals. Okay, James, that's an opinion. Brother, that's an opinion too. So in the video, the other video, is clear that the police are asking this man to remove himself from the situation, and he's slow to do it. Does that justify what you just saw? Does that justify what you just saw? I would say no, it doesn't. I mean, you might get frustrated as an officer. This guy won't leave the scene. You've asked him to leave several times. But basically that could have been a knockout blow forever. They could have killed him with that blow. And you said serves him right, James? Come on, bro. Sissy Tigris is right. He didn't put his hands on anyone. No, there is no justification for that. I agree with you. There's no justification whatsoever. He didn't put his hands on him. He wasn't making any kind of threatening moves. The man basically was no threat whatsoever. He was no threat whatsoever. James writes, why was this loser outside to begin with? What a loser. Why was he outside his house, James? Come on, man. So just being outside in the mix of it, he deserves to get knocked out like that? Nah, that could have been a knockout blow. That could have been a fatal blow. That could have been a fatal blow right there. He could have killed that man. James writes, mama said knock you out. See there, you wilding, man. You are wilding. Let me quick pause for the calls and get a word from our sponsor. Again, today's show this morning is brought to you by the good folks at renewcommunitychurch.org. Check this out.
The words for today are attract more money. It takes 60 seconds for the universe, through the invisible law of attraction, to be fully activated in your life. God's invisible law of attraction is available to you because you are just 60 seconds away from attracting more money. Take the next 60 seconds and attract more money in your life by telling the financial story for 60 seconds, 3 times a day for 21 days. Why 21 days? Because that's how long it takes to change your life. Now say this financial story out loud 3 times a day. Today, I accept my divine and human right to have more than enough money, to be a financial blessing to self, family, and others. I will use my financial abundance today to bless so many people in this universe. Money is my friend. I share my money with my friends. For a free ebook, visit renewcommunitychurch.org.
Yep, again, renewcommunitychurch.org. Bunky writes, check that black cop's paper was probably African. Huh? David writes, that was a retirement hit. I'll take that hit for $5 million. I know that's right. He said a retirement hit. You wake up like, well, I'm retired now. Where's my lawyer? Come on, yo. We got to do better, man. And see, there are some black people that get in positions of authority and they try to show the bosses, I'm willing to get with black folks. Oh, you ain't got to do that dirty work, boss? No. Don't get your hands dirty. I got you, boss. That's why I'm useful to you, right? Like, what would possess this man to do something like that? Absolutely reprehensible, despicable. Hey, listen, folks, that is my time. I appreciate you. I'll be back and hopefully better than ever with you tomorrow morning. We'll chop it up at 7:30 a.m. on People, Politics, and Pleasure. Shout out to JD for the connect with the conversation with Chelsea. I appreciate you both. To Chelsea, thank you for coming on the show this morning. Very interesting. Very interesting. I think she's a very sharp sister. And we'll catch up with you real soon, okay? Have an excellent rest of your Thursday. Remember our motto. Let's say it together. Winners focus on winning. And losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning. And we'll talk real soon. I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been